I usually get this down in like the first try.
Never get it done in the first try.
What's going on, Faded Culture? It's Sergio Barron, and we're back again with another haircut tutorial. Today I got my boy Taylor here, and I'm gonna be giving him a mid-drop fade with an 8 on top. Before we start, I wanna thank everybody that's been visiting us at fadedculture.co, and stay tuned because that winter drop is about to come here really soon. So with that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. If y'all do, please give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments what other videos y'all like us to drop on this channel. So with that being said, guys, let's just jump right into the tutorial. Boom, got it?
You finally killed it.
I caught it on the first try, dog.
It was wrong, but fuck it.
It was his.
Tyler.
Tyler?
He said Taylor?
I said Taylor?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, boy, I don't know if I can get that shit down again.
Real quick though, before we start, give these people a good tip.
A good tip? I'll give y'all a good one.
Something
what
good.
you're gonna wanna do is, before you actually cut his hair, you're gonna wanna make sure you have his, the clipper facing this way.
Facing forward?
Yeah, facing forward, because if you have it like this, it's not gonna cut. So just keep that in mind before y'all do it.
Alright guys, so to start, I'm gonna throw on that number 8 and I'll make sure that lever is closed all the way to a true 8. And I'm gonna run this guard multiple times all over the top, making sure that I'm going against the hair growth pattern to ensure that we could cut the hair as even as possible throughout the whole top. And also just make sure that you're keeping a comb, that way you can continuously be brushing away or combing away any loose hair that you're cutting, so you can maintain that clean workspace on top and you can clearly see that the hair is being cut even. And also guys, all these steps and tools as usual will be left down in the description for y'all to follow. And next I'm gonna start by laying down my first guideline to start the fade. Here for this one, I'm gonna start with that clipper lever closed all the way to a true 0, and I'm gonna just lay down this first guideline, curving as we reach around the ear and then just sloping it down towards the back of the head, just to create that drop fade effect. And then we're just gonna make sure that it ends up at the same spot but on the opposite side of his head. So just make sure that this first guideline is as straight and even as possible, since the rest of our guidelines will run according to this one. So next I'm gonna just open the lever all the way on the clipper to lay down my next guideline. I'm gonna come up about a finger in length or a ½ inch in length from the previous guideline that we laid down, and I'm gonna just make sure that this next guideline just runs parallel to the previous first line that we set. Now once I'm done with that one, I'm gonna throw on the number 1 guard, and I'm gonna still leave that lever all the way open for our next guideline. And again, like before, I'm gonna come up about another ½ inch from the previous guideline that we laid down, and again just making sure that it runs parallel to that previous line that we set. Next, I'm gonna grab my number 2 guard, still with that lever open, to set in our next guideline. For this one, you're just gonna want to be careful not to dig it in too much to the top length of the hair. You can kind of think of it as you're trying to just connect the side length to the top length, but you saw that how I used that comb to kind of see the shape of his head on the side. That's kind of like the direction that we're gonna imitate and follow through with the clipper, so that we don't trim up too much to the top. And again, we're only coming up about a ½ inch from the previous guideline that we laid down. Next, same as before, we're gonna throw on that number 3 guard with that lever all the way open, and again, just trying to connect the side length to the top length, only coming up about another ½ inch. Make sure that you're continuously, again, just combing away the hair that you are cutting, so that you can clearly see what's being cut and what still needs to be cut. Usually after this, if there's still a lot of hair that I need to connect from the side to the top, then I'll use clipper over comb. But for this one, since it is only a little bit that I need to finish connecting, I'm gonna just come in with that 4 guard lever all the way open, and then just slowly connect the side length to the top length so that everything is as uniform as possible. So now, as you see here, we're pretty much done connecting the side length to the top and setting in our 3 guidelines. We're going to start by blending out these 3 guidelines, starting from the uppermost line and then just working our way down. So for this top guideline, what I like to use to take it out is that 1.5 clip, and I'm going to position that lever to 3/4 open. And you see that lever, all that lever position is the lever in between halfway open and all the way open. And then I'm gonna just come in using more so the corners of the clipper, just so that I can get in there in a detailed fashion so that it can help me better erase that guideline as much as possible. And if you feel like you need to open it a little more than that 3/4 position to finish taking out that top guideline, then go ahead and do so. But for me, I feel like that lever at 3/4 seems to always be a good starting point to just kind of guide me and show me if I need to open it or close it more. But at 3/4, it seems to always take out most of that guideline. So then next, for this middle guideline, as you see here, I'm gonna throw on that 1/2 clip, and I'm gonna still leave that lever positioned to 3/4. And again, just like before, I'm gonna just use kind of the corners of the clipper, and then just kind of thinking of the clipper being an eraser and starting to soften up that middle guideline as much as possible. Just take notice that this guard won't completely take out this middle guideline all the way out. So just take out most of it just right there where it's at, and then whatever it don't take out, we'll come back with the higher guard to finish blending it out. So like I said, these little dark areas that were left right above, we're going to come back in with the 1 guard, still leaving that lever on that 3/4 position to finish blending out that middle guideline all the way through. And again, just using the corners of the clipper, imitating the same motions that we have been to blend out these guidelines. So after that, now we're left with our first guideline that we laid down. And for this one, to completely take it out, it's going to take 3 lever positions. First, starting with the lever closed, and then we open it halfway, and then we open it all the way. We're going to gradually open it as we move up on that line. So first, starting right here with the clipper lever closed, I'm going to just start to blend out the initial start of this guideline, and you'll see that it starts to blend out a little at a time. And I'm gonna just focus on blending just the left side of his head, since it takes 3 lever positions. I'm gonna just focus on this left side. So you see here, it was started with it closed, then I opened it right here halfway, and then just moved up a little bit higher than from where I was before to continue trying to tie in this first guideline. Then once I'm done with it here at midway open, I'm gonna open it all the way to finish tying in this last guideline into the rest of the blend. And if you still feel like after this lever position that there are some dark areas left behind, then don't worry about them for now. You'll come back after you're done taking out most of this first guideline, and then we'll just take care of them on our touch-up work. And now once you've taken out that last guideline, next we're going to repeat the exact same steps but to the back side of his head. Again, starting with that clipper lever closed all the way, and then we open it halfway, and then we open it all the way, gradually opening it as you move up a tad bit at a time onto that line. And then moving forward, again repeating the exact same steps, but on the right last section of his head. And now once you're done with blending out that last guideline, we're going to come in and start doing our touch-up work. For my touch-up work, I'm going to throw on that half guard, position that lever to 3/4, and all I'm doing is looking for any inconsistencies in the blend or little dark spots that you see, and we're just going to break them up and blend them out as much as possible so we can get that fade as smooth as possible. Keep in mind that everybody's hair is different when you're doing your touch-up work, so some hair might need more touch-ups than other hairs. But I always start with that half guard, and if you feel like you need to throw on that 1 guard again or that 1.5 guard again, then go ahead and do so. And now we're gonna focus on taking out the rest of the bottom of the hair. First, I'm gonna come in with that trimmer upside down, and I'm gonna push down on the top of the bottom of the hair first, since this way it kind of tends to leave a balder guideline. And then I'm gonna quickly just kind of flip the clipper right back over to blend in that bald guideline into the fade. The reason I do this first with it upside down is so that when I come in and take out the rest of the bottom of the hair, it's gonna kind of leave a little faint guideline, and that's gonna serve as another guide for us to show us how high to come up with our electric shaver, so that we don't dig it in too much into the blend, creating harsh lines that need to be blended out. So you see here now, I'm gonna just continue taking out the rest of the bottom of the hair. And like I said before, you'll be able to kind of distinguish that little faint line that I was talking about, and that's gonna be our guideline, like I said, to show us how high to come up with our electric shaver. Then we're gonna come in with our electric shaver to just shave out the rest of the bottom of the hair. Again, guys, I'm gonna use these as they were a pair of clippers, so as I reach that little faint line that we had left behind, I'm gonna kind of pull out and release pressure on the electric shaver so that we don't create too much of a harsh line, and also at the same time kind of blending it into the fade. And for whatever reason, if you still feel like you left behind some little lines with the shaver, then you can just come back in with your trimmers and then just kind of blend them right out. Next, I'm gonna use the fine tooth side of the comb and I'm gonna apply some spritz to the front hairline. And since I'm using the fine tooth, it's gonna kind of help me really pull out any hair from the top and kind of really make sure that you're kind of combing everything out tight. And then I'm gonna just blow dry the hair in that position, and this spritz stuff is just gonna really freeze the hair into place so that it don't move around when I'm kind of setting in my hard lines for his edge up. And while that's drying, I like to kind of come in and start trimming his facial hair. For his facial hair, I used a number 5 closed, and I trimmed all his facial hair to that length. And then just using the exact same fading technique, I'm gonna apply that to the sideburn area so that we can blend down the sideburns onto his facial hair. So all we're doing is basically setting in our 3 guidelines and then just blending them right out. So for the edge up, I'm gonna first start down the middle and then I'm gonna just work my way off to either side of his head, just making sure that I flow along as straight as possible, and then just detailing the line up as much as possible, just prepping it for a straight razor. Make sure you take your time and make sure you get your lines as sharp as possible, guys, since this area is the area that we tend to see first on our head, since it is in front of our face, and people notice that right off the back and will determine if it's a good haircut or not. So just continuously just taking a step back and make sure that you're not losing track of that line being as straight as possible. Then we're just gonna detail the facial hair area as much as possible, and just prepping it before we come in with our straight razor to really set in these hard lines. Then once I have set in all my hard lines, I'm gonna apply some shaving gel throughout all the lines that I will be detailing with my straight razor, just so that we don't cause any skin irritation. And also with that shaving gel, it's just gonna help us really glide through the hair a lot more effortlessly, so that we don't get stuck or nick or cut our client. And next I'm gonna apply a brand new fresh blade to our very own Faded Culture matte black Turkish razor. I like this Turkish razor a lot, guys, since it is matte black. One, because that helps with any reflection that the lights be giving off when you have like a silver or a gold straight razor. And then two, I like these Turkish razor because of how thin it is, and I don't know, I just love the way I'm able to kind of move around tough areas, especially like right above the lip, because of how thin the straight razor is. But thank you to everyone that has purchased one on our website at fadedculture.co. We will be restocking very, very soon, hopefully by the end of this week. And when I'm shaving the bottom of the hair, first I'll shave down just right up on that lineup, and then I'll reverse shave the rest so that we're shaving with the grain and not against. Because a lot of the times when you're shaving against the grain on the bottom of his neck, the neck is a very sensitive area and will result in kind of ingrown hairs when you shave too much against the grain. And then for the cheek area, first I'll kind of set in really quick roughly where I want my lineup to be on the cheek and on the sideburn area, and then I'll just follow through with connecting the sideburn onto the cheek as clean as possible. And then any hair that's left right above that, I'll reverse shave as well, so we can get that much closer to the skin so that we have a longer lasting shave. And once you're done, this part is optional. If you like using enhancements, you just mix some hair dye with some water in a portable air gun, and then just lightly apply it with two like business cards or anything to the lineup, just to enhance and help that lineup pop a little harder. But that's pretty much it, guys, for this haircut tutorial. I'm gonna just quickly clean them off with my blow dryer and neck duster, and then I'm gonna apply some texturizing powder since he likes that dry texturized look, and then just play with his hair until you find a desired look that he's happy with. But really quick, guys, here's the before and here's the after. I hope y'all guys enjoyed this tutorial on a mid skin drop fade with an 8 guard on top. If y'all did, please give it a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing to the channel for more tutorials like this. Please also let me know down in the comments what y'all did or didn't like about the video, or also what other videos we should drop on this channel for y'all. Again, guys, my name is Sergio Barron. This is Faded Culture, and thank y'all for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.